time, and the latter half will probably need to be a bit more. It's gonna be the more difficult half, unfortunately.
Yep.
It'll be okay.
It'll be
This will be fine.
No, I'm last one.
So where do we start? Oh, right. We started off bamfing over to the
Alright,
Sigillian
down.
Keep.
Oops.
Crush, can you? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
Read my mind. Bamfing over to the Sigillian Keep, which any plan that we had, any idea of what we would encounter going into this, was immediately thrown out the window as soon as we teleported into Sigillian Keep, to be greeted by a firing line of Sigillians. With Sigillian Prime at the center of them all, basically looking around our group, spying Anushka and saying, "Hey, come over here, so I could protect you." Which that's code
Cool,
for, "Hey,
cool.
I'm gonna shoot everyone in that fucking like teleportation room. You don't want to be in there. We need you alive." So nefarious.
Mhm.
But of course, we sort of we didn't really. We were at a loss of what to do. Anushka was already like, I want to say 50 feet away from him before shit hit the fan. Alessandra started opening fire on Sigillian Prime, telling everyone to sort of hit the deck, Anushka included. With Sigillian Prime, he has super haste time powers. It was very, very much a non-issue for him. But regardless, Anushka started running back towards the rest of the group. Sigillian Prime kept trying to grab at her. Didn't really find any purchase until like the very end. This whole time, the Sigillians were firing on us and hitting surprisingly very little for how many there were. But with some combined efforts from friends, we were able to wrench Anushka free from his grasp and teleport out of the Sigillian Keep. However, we didn't change location as much as we changed time. As it seemed like we sort of went back in time to when the Sigillian Keep was at its like during its heyday, back when it was still being used for its intended purpose as a magic school. Hashtag not Hogwarts. We were
Technically true.
yeah,
Mhm.
we were approached by a person who seemed to be like still a student, or at least a magical practitioner like us, who seemed to be a higher rank than most of us, if not all of us. And they're sort of like, "Hey, why are you standing around? You have a job to do that I'm not going to describe to you in detail because that's the point of this interaction." Um, and we
He's right.
we deceived our way out of that. Sort of learned that in I believe it was like 5 hours time. At least during this time, the experiment on the lunar fracture was about to go underway, which we already knew it was going to hit the fan, so we didn't want to be there. Some of us talked to a hangover kid to sort of get a gauge of what this experiment was about. Didn't really make a lot of progress, but that's fine. It wasn't our job. Some of us, once we sort of reconvened, we followed these weird wisps of moonlight, which led out the front door of the Sicilian Keep. And as we sort of exited that door, we were brought into a sort of hub room with 3 different doors, each is sort of indicating past, present, future. And we used it very selfishly to sort of spy on other people. For instance, Alessander investigated where his mother was, if she was still alive in the present. Who else? We used it to try and find Silas's parents, and we sort of learned that they were towards the southern border of the kept lands that touched Grafal, right?
Yeah. Grafal and Sensei.
And Sensei.
Also,
Which is the eastern one.
We kind of pieced together. that her
Eastern one
purposely-
is Grafal. Western one is Sensei.
Gotcha. They seem to be in good health. It seemed like they were the black force that was keeping them captive was deliberately taking a slower but more careful route, sort of winding this way and that to keep as low a profile as possible, make it really hard to track them. Did anyone use the past door?
No one used that. Well, technically, you guys came out of the past door.
Right, we came out of the past door.
Oriana did use the prison door as well.
Yes, to spy on Scavola, which she appeared to be in a very dark place, possibly underground. With what were the mechanical guys called?
Bound skin if they're captured.
The ones down, they're not bound skin down there.
Yeah.
They're called the Warcast
That's what it is.
locally.
Warcaster, yeah. Which we don't know what those are, right? In character.
No.
Yeah, because we've never been to Cutthroat's Keep, but we out of character know that is Cutthroat's Keep, beneath it or near it.
Supposedly yes. No one knows how far those things go.
Oh, okay.
Like
Well,
those
they-
tunnels can
they
go
do know that
maybe
they
1
keep
mile, maybe they
changing.
can go 100 miles, they can go 1,000 miles. They constantly change, so no one ever knows how deep they actually go.
Oh, okay. But regardless, Scovel, like easily, I wouldn't even call it sneaking. It just wasn't noticed because it was not like she was really seeming to do anything. It just
No, she was
kinda leaning
basically
up against
just
the wall.
leaning in the darkness and just waiting for them to pass, like completely calm.
And as soon as they were past, she pushed off the wall and started going deeper into the tunnels, presumably. Oriana, you made an attempt to follow her when Mind Scavola sort of made herself known and said, "Hey, I want to advise that because I'm going to tattle on you the second I get." And
I'm
Oriana
gonna
was like,
snitch immediately.
"Yeah, you cannot keep me from snitching. It is in my blood."
It is in your blood.
Literally.
Oriana was like, "All right, fine, whatever," and turned around and left after having a clear internal debate because curiosity, but curiosity killed the cat, so we don't want Silas to
Good
die.
thing I'm
So.
a person. Damn it! I should have went.
But yeah, so Oriana came back to the hub. Blair wanted to go through the future door to try and see her future. I think we sort of convinced her against that. Instead, used it to sort of see the future of our fight. More specifically, the future of Sigillian Prime's like nerfing, basically. Trying to see like, oh, yeah, let's jump forward to the future to when Sigillian Prime loses his haste ability, right? So Building Refraction kind of made that happen. And that's how we sort of got these options opened up to us. And that's sort of where we left off, right? Anything I missed there?
No, I think that's
we
what
were about to walk through the portal to death. I mean, boss fight. That's about it. And I think like just before we walk through is basically where we're kind of like probably in character debating like how do you want to fight this? Who wants to get what benefits? Da 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 da.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of a ways before we get there, but that is the long and short of it. Does anyone else have anything else? As I'm reading this sheet really, really fucking fast.
There was mentions
Alice.
of. Go on.
I was just gonna say, Alexander awakened something in himself. He is a lover of the thespian arts.
Fucking shit.
You're right. Is that the most important? What was his name? I know it was
Eugene
Hufflepuff.
Oh, right.
Eugene P.
Oh my God.
Hufflebottom.
Oh, yeah.
Eugene P. Hufflepuff. How can I forget?
Yeah, that
Quite
glorious
easily.
bastard.
I can't remember if it was mentioned, but we heard mention of Tertiana when we were in the past.
Yes, did hear her get named up? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of wanted to investigate that, but also we did not have time to investigate that, so it's like, fuck. Bring it up with her later, maybe if we see her again. I don't know.
This is she'll
Georgiana,
answer
I
any
have-
questions.
I have a
Yeah.
gun pointed at you. Tell me why you were here on this date. And then she fucking turns the Imperator into a snake or something, and it bites Alexander in the leg.
Yes.
That would be
Exact same
interesting.
fucking thought. She turned it into a snake.
Hold on, just give me a second here. Give me a second here.
No, I cannot work an 8-hour shift.
You
That would
have
then
as much
cancel my
time as you
D&D
need.
plans, you fools.
Hmm.
Okay, this sheet might just require me reading out of this book, but that's fine. That's basically normal D&D.
That is fine, dude. That is so fine.
basically just normal D&D. Okay. Then I believe that is it. Let me just do one last addition right here.
One last advertisement. Have
One
you guys
more
heard of
enemy.
NordVPN?
I haven't.
Yes.
No, please inform me of it.
Anymore.
Oh.
NordVPN is a VPN for Nords.
VPN for
Naturally.
I didn't realize.
Oh, that's great.
Never again will you be held under the boot of the Imperial dogs.
Yeah, you can route your scrying through Morrowind.
Google
Mhm.
Talos Scripture without having to worry about your ISP fucking reporting you to the Thalmor.
Have you had to do this bit before? You've done this bit before. This is coming out way too naturally.
No.
No, he's just unfortunately good at it.
Unfortunately. Okay, so I finished doing it. I finished doing the thing. So
Oh, and these two are
God,
still
love
dead
it.
as hell.
love this music so much. Love this music so much. So you guys, actually, let me move you to that map I made. Where is it? There it is. It's a very good map. Yeah, there it is.
And then the mysterious
good.
ball appeared over there.
I'm clapping, I'm applauding, I'm screaming, losing my goddamn mind.
Beautiful.
Thank you. That sound a bit unenthused for screaming, but thank you. So as you guys go through all of these past, present, future doors, which are indicated by a various phase of the moon, don't worry about what the phase actually is. Another door does open up behind you. This one is of a full moon. And the other doors begin to slowly slide shut. And once more, you guys see those wisps of moonlight appear and direct you, flowing into this newly formed door, which is open. To Anushka, who's the closest to the door, you could see that looking into it, it doesn't have that same vague mist sort of energy barrier in front of it like all the other doors have had. Well, not really barrier, more like threshold. No, this one you could see just directly into it. And when you look out that way, you just see basically the nebulas. You see the night sky with all of its stars. You see a series of steps wrapping around, winding like a staircase made of a similar opaque moonlight fill to it. Looking slightly similar to, I guess, like the white keys of a piano, except really large, obviously. And then they just go forward and begin spiraling up. And you guys can all see the moonlight follows this staircase. Who's the first one in? If anyone goes in.
I mean,
Please
sure,
be my
Oriana
guest.
would. Yeah, no, Oriana. I guess Alessander is.
No, I point a gun to the back of Anushka's head, like, go in!
She points one behind.
You have a gun
Commissar
to the side of
Alessander, I like it.
Pardon me, I'm finished my burger.
The Oriana's the first one in then.
It's a future burger.
It's a
How do
burger.
you-
burger. We invented burgers.
Burgers are already invented, man.
I
We
would
invented
imagine.
better burgers. They're moon burgers.
I actually saw a thing recently of someone trying to make a burger in ancient Rome times using like what they would use for Roman ingredients. I'm like, this is very interesting.
I'm
wasn't
curious
good.
how that came out.
It wasn't bad. They used this sort of I don't remember the name of it, unfortunately, but it's like this sort of like fat webbing netting around your guts, which is like they use that in place of like egg to like bind the burger together because it's basically like a thin membrane that's made of
wait.
fat.
Yeah, no, I heard about
Invicta.
that. That guy was like the king of Athens. I think like after like one of his epithets after he died was like the king of burger or the burger king or something like that.
Shut up!
Fucking, I knew it was a bit the second he started talking.
God.
I was like,
I was like, there's no way. There's no fucking
Oh my
way.
God.
Anyways, the burger came out pretty well looking. Unfortunately, they didn't have any form of like tomato or ketchup, so like my nice points on that, but whatever. But anyways, so my nerd tangent aside, Oriana, you enter into I'll call it the nebula stairway.
The nebulous stairway. That's ominous.
It is probably the most calm, tranquil, peaceful, safe place that you've been in a long time.
And the idea of safety and calmness is mildly alien to her, I would imagine.
That's up to you. As you take a step onto one of the moonlight stair pieces, piano keys, it does glow slightly at your presence, standing upon it. Delvat does begin to move over and peer it through the stair, or not the stairway, the doorway. It's, for lack of better words, majestic to behold it. To Keenan, this sensation, you've felt it before. You feel it on a regular basis with your Twilight Sanctuary, but this is, in the way that the room is that sort of feel amped up to 12, looking in through this doorway to the nebulous staircase is that feeling amped up to 20 on a scale of 1 to 10. It is, I guess, the penultimate embodiment of your own capability.
Sort of in rapture, I think he would just sort of drift. Pardon me.
Yeah, you enter in behind Oriana, and you are met with a similar sense, now that you're actually in the room, of security and peace. It's sort of like an embodiment of a line you hear from Fajarans. You know, finding shade and cool respite. It's a place for recovery. But this is that and more, because it's more than just a place for you to recover, it's a place of protection. Shade does not protect, unless against the sun. Oriana, as the first one in, make me I don't know how to describe this. If you weren't a monk, I would say it would be a charisma-based perception check, but you are a monk, so make me a normal perception check.
Okay, I don't have anything to add. Do I have... I'm assuming I don't have guidance.
I'll say you have guidance.
Okay. Don't suck me. Okay, we're starting off good. Good.
Would you say Oriana has engaged in, either peripherally, superficially, shallowly, or deeply, or whatever, or even ironically, in the art, or this science, quote-unquote, pseudoscience, the magics of astrology? Not astronomy. Not the real
Right.
science, astrology.
Yeah, astrology of like star signs and crabs or crabs, cancer and
shit.
stuff like that.
What's her star sign? Yeah.
what is her star sign? That's something for later. I don't know.
You guys just pick a birthday for your character and we can probably figure it out. But anyways.
Yeah. Would it be something she'd be interested in? I think maybe peripherally, if there was her studies were more like combat, war, and stuff like that focused. So if there was like instances of like a more celestial based combatant on the field, then she might peek into it a little bit there, but like not like super detailed. Which kind of sucks because it'd be better to say yes because she probably have more information here, but it's like I don't think she would.
It's enough in the sense of your character Oriana has the knowledge, the know-how, the general insight into imagining, viewing constellations. as you're looking out sort of this way, sort of in overall, generally sort of taking in everything like you were in the previous room with, key and stuff like that, you could sort of see some vague shapes get made out amidst all the stars in this dark night sky room. Some are constellations you might recognize. The more, layman ones. But there are others that begin getting pieced together in your vision that you don't recognize, either because you don't have the knowledge or because they aren't normal constellations that you would normally see in the mortal realm. And they move. Sort of like pollen or flower petals in the wind getting blown. These stars move as if some astral wind is affecting them. Well, not astral. Celestial wind is affecting them. And when they move, they don't move like a herky-jerky manner. These constellations look as if they are people moving around. They're not constantly moving. It's more like one moves every now and again, that one moves every now and again, and so on.
But it's noticeable because stars don't typically move.
No.
At least not in a manner that you would not notice over months, kind of thing. God, she would want to like paint this, but we don't have the time for that. So she's just gonna.
Roll me. Are you proficient in history?
I don't think she's proficient. Where's history? She's not proficient. She has a flip.
Then just roll straight intelligence.
Oh,
Some memorization.
Intelligence. I could. No, I'm not gonna throw a Kensai die. I have a single die. Straight. That's better than I was hoping.
All right, record that down somewhere that you got a 15 in the memorization. Yeah, this will be a not so secret tool that'll help us later.
Yeah, I like the idea of like she's kind of registering that like this is like some level of celestial kind of stuff going on. So it's like she doesn't expect to get it perfectly because try to determine the will of the gods and you'll understand what she's trying to paint with that. So I think it's like parts of it are using the constellations she knows as like anchor points and then kind of feeling out what the rest would be for the future, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
For the future.
Yeah. Anyways.
I will say Delvat is doing something similar.
Oh, roll better.
It's just because he has a better mod. So, you two inside the doorway begin traversing forward.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
You guys begin ascending up the staircase, getting an even better view at all the stars. There is no sun, there is no moon, just stars. And you guys can see, if you look, crane your head and look all the way up, there is another doorway, just sort of floating. It's like fucking Kingdom Hearts style. It's just a doorway and a door above you. Some 30 feet.
He then turns around, looks at the group. Well, come on then.
Yeah, I think as Alexander kind of steps up to the door, he'll stop and look over his shoulder at Kasai and kind of like beckon her towards him.
She's... As you first initially turn around to go look at her, you note that she's in a... There's no insight roll needed for this. I think you already made one last session anyways and succeeded. She's in a deep state of contemplation.
Mhm.
Slightly, maybe more than slightly forlorn. But
Kind of
as you
almost-
gesture at her, she does
what's
like
the other
sort
tribe
of
called?
the Farloon Phantoms.
Farloon Phantoms. Thank you.
I'll type it here for ease of reference.
They're not relevant at all.
Nah.
Def not.
Not even a little.
Nah, what are we talking about?
There's a lot of moon-based tribes out there. I will say that. They're not all relevant. But yeah, she does, better than what she was earlier. She does, have enough grasp on the present, on reality, if you want to call this place that. just notice you gesturing to her, and she does approach.
I think as she closes the distance, he'll hold his hand up between them, palm up, and just say, "So many stars in there, afraid I might get lost. Mind guiding me?"
Fucking smooth.
Roll persuasion. Yeah, roll persuasion. That's fine. That's pretty fucking. That's pretty fucking
Does it
smooth.
get like a
Rather
something?
smooth.
Got a ham.
Yeah, I'll give him advantage. Listen, we have a precedent across all the campaigns where if you're beginning dating an NPC, you start getting advantage on all charisma checks against them.
Does she give me guidance?
He does give you guidance,
Please,
technically.
Please.
wait. This is Kasai. What? This is Kasai. So just me. Your words, your gesture does seem to shake her out of things as she gets a quaint smile on her face and takes your hand. She doesn't say anything, but you can tell that from the tightness of the grip that it is an appreciated gesture.
Mhm. And despite his words, he'll go ahead and take the lead.
Fair enough. She doesn't mind.
As they cross the threshold, he says, "If I get lost, I'll let you know."
I will do my best to find you, if you do.
All right, now follow my lead.
You
Boom.
bitch.
I will say, Anushka, you did enter in. Can you make me a perception check, but instead of wisdom, use your charisma? Or
Okay.
constitution. I think either one works.
That's interesting.
So charisma or constitution, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, god, that wisdom was higher. Fuck. Okay.
I know, what a shame.
I know, right? That was Liz.
Yeah, maybe if you're a monk, I will let you roll it. That's okay.
Yeah. If only. Perception. Yeah. Okay. Perception. Not
Yes.
so. That's 5. It's a number.
Oof, that's
It's a
that's
number.
it.
She's just like, these are pretty stairs, yo. Oh my god, there's stars.
Did you use
What
your
is
con or your charisma?
my charisma?
Your charisma?
No,
Okay.
no, sorry, no, my constitution, you said.
Okay. As you enter in, you get. It's hard to describe this as Anushka, so I'll describe it to you as Kirsty. Because as Anushka, you have no metric to compare against for everyone else's feeling. Because you can't tap into their emotions like some weird vampire. You maintain that same sense of security that the previous room had, but it doesn't escalate when you're in here. If anything, you sort of get this sort of like nauseous feeling slightly. That might be because you're sort of floating above an infinite abyss of stars and space. That might be a sense of vertigo, but like whatever it is, like something feels off to you. Something gives you this like pangs, P-A-N-G, not pains as in a piece of bread. Like there's something that like tinges in you when you're in this room. It's not painful, but it's not pleasant.
Yeah. I guess she just goes a little bit, like, sicky pale, I guess, and just kind of keeps going.
You continue forward. Eventually, the rest of everyone else begins filing in. Brisk he simultaneously is curious about this place, but also doesn't give a shit about it. He's very stalker energy of, I want to know enough about this place so I don't get killed by it.
Understandable.
But he doesn't have like that any way the same sense of fascination or childlike wonder or curiosity that some of the rest of you have, like Delvat. But he does enter in, followed thereafter by Marika, leading Vaso, and I guess Celine would probably enter in after them. Blair is the last one, though. She didn't say anything. She just sort of eventually shuffles in after some trepidation.
She doesn't walk alongside mom and dad.
She doesn't walk alongside mom and dad, no.
Or whatever.
Or her little
Oriana
brother.
qualifies in this.
No. No, she
What
was the
is
last one in.
Oriana?
Weird aunt.
As the last of you enter in, the door does close behind you guys. And fade away, dissipating, disintegrating. There's only one way to go, and that is forward. And forward you guys go. Traversing more and more up these moonlight steps up to another doorway. This one up here is the present moon phase above it, the symbol, but it's inverted. So whereas one side before had half left, half right, light, dark, this one is the inverse. So still the same phase of the moon in halves, but not the same. It does open up at the first one, which I believe is Oriana. This one does have that moonlight veil, that fog threshold in front of it. Your senses, your perceptions, your ability to perceive does indicate to you that smell, swamp gases and stuff like that. You could hear the sound of wind coasting. You hear the sounds of, I don't know how to say this, twinkling. That's sort of like high pitch,
Right.
sort of bing, ding, ding. Sort of like wind chimes, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, chiming.
Like chimes. Like if you ever go in like a crystal cave in a video game, whatever noise you use for that.
Basically, yeah. What order do you guys go in? Or is it the same one you guys went in through here?
Do y'all reckon I should cast a preparatory spell right now?
I feel it'd be wise.
Probably,
Do we
yeah.
in
get
any
the
way you
gut
can.
feeling that there's a boss fight past this fog wall?
To those of you that went, to those of you that went forward in time to view, I guess your own futures, this is the same doorway.
Okay.
Like you guys can recognize as the same exact doorway style and everything as what you guys saw. So you guys have an idea of what will happen when you enter into the room, at least in the immediacy of entering it.
Right. I was about to check the fucking wiki, so
Yeah.
I do believe so. There is a fight behind this door, that I can almost guarantee.
All right then, huddle up. Beacon of Hope.
I believe. Does Beacon of Hope have a limit to people you can cast out? Or
Let me post the wording for it.
please do.
Post the wording king.
Any number-
There
It
you
just says any number. Perfect.
That is fucking good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
go. Wisdom saving throws. No. Perfect.
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 So
Might get this spelled very quickly. We'll see.
maybe we'll see. So you guys begin entering in. Welcome to a room which none of your characters actually know, but out of game is called the Trincularium.
Hey, yo.
It's a tranquilarium.
Yes, don't worry. I'll give you guys a name.
No, that sounds
Thank you.
Yes,
Trincularium.
that's what I assumed.
tranquilarium. Yeah. I heard twinklearium at first. I was like, wait,
No,
what?
not Trincularium.
That doesn't sound
If-
dirty at all.
If you guys like, I don't remember which one of you investigated. I don't think any of you guys did anything. To those of you that skimmed the manual, the operation manual, you guys probably would have seen in your guys' section in particular, the term Trincularium pop up here and there.
I think Blair would have the most insight on that.
Probably Blair and Delvat, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, feel free to pop yourself into this in this here room.
Yeah, right next to the slightly lighter door.
Alright.
Mhm.
Is there like a max like distance we can pop out? Like,
Risk.
You guys should just
Take
begin
a-
moving around the place.
So, oh, I didn't realize she was large.
Yeah, she's large size.
oh Jesus! Oh, you got a token for her! Hell yeah!
It's just the Warlock Bloom token that I
What's that? Oh, is that
Hey, it's
the
not
number of what are they?
Charges, yes.
Charges.
yeah, she has one constantly.
Good.
Why is Blair slightly too large?
I don't know. It's
She's a big
Yeah.
gal.
She has a big.
I mean, she is quite literally. She's probably the buffest one here. Actually, no, either her or Laura.
I'm guessing 20.
Well, yeah, she's 20. I think Blair has a 20 in all of her physical stats.
Damn.
Go ahead and just can read it.
Actually, no, she only has.
She could win an
18
arm wrestling contest against Celine.
I don't know if she because at least only has above 20. Because she has the
Yeah.
guy's physical stats. So
Let's see. How much movement?
yeah, she has a
do I have?
22.
She got one, so 40.
Oh, wait a minute.
Clear the battlefield pretty well, but I'm gonna push her
Yes.
forward.
Her allies can expend her charge points to cast it. You said she always has 1 point.
Well, she starts every combat at one point.
Okay, I was about to say. Because you can just cast like infinite number of first level spell slots.
No. Like, she basically recovers like one over the course of like a short rest.
Gotcha.
Automatically is how I'd probably say it.
Mhm.
But yeah, you guys enter into the tranquil area.
Mhm.
Let me just populate America and also just put Blair. Perfect. Knows all. Sorry, is all. Why is it always different? It's probably the wrong move. Oh no, my roll 20 is like. That new token features they added are great and all, but every time I try using those new features, it lags the shit out of roll 20.
What new features?
Like update default token and stuff like that, like the easy stuff to do as opposed to like delete currently, like, oh, what is their currently set token? Delete it, reselect the token that's on the map, set this token as default token. Yeah, every time you try to do it, or at least I try to do it, it's like it lags the fuck out of the
Mhm.
browser. I don't know why. But yeah, so you guys all enter into the room, and you guys are welcome back to reality. Well,
Nope.
real space, mortal realm, waking world, whatever you want to call it. You guys are from the viewpoint you guys have at this large break in the wall. It's wider on the bottom than it is at the top. It does curve into this sort of basilica, this sort of like egg-shaped room. Obviously, it's flat on the bottom.
Down here.
It does go up like some 60, 80 feet or so. So this place is like a big point on the top of the Sigillian Keep. And you guys can tell you're in the Sigillian Keep because of the viewpoint. You guys can see what little there is to see out in the void-corrupted cordon, but, you know, you guys can see Sakani's tower, and you guys can see that his purple energy is manifesting. It's swimming its way over here like it had done previously to, you know, the church, or the temple rather, as well as the repository. So what's the phrase for it? Oh Lord, he coming.
oh, come.
About how long do you reckon we have until?
Few minutes. And for the purpose of Beacon Hub, don't worry, you can just maintain concentration on it until shit kicks off.
Right. Okay. I was
Alright,
about
cool.
to say, oh yeah, 2 minutes. He knew.
Okay.
Well,
That would be pretty big brain, but no, he would have no insight in you casting that spell in there, so yeah, you can just
Okay.
keep it.
So,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
question is, where do we want to set up?
Scatter.
So, also, the sort of layout that you did during the prepping, is that what for sure it's going to be? Is that what we saw in our?
Yeah.
That's
Kim's there,
what
Prime
you guys
there,
saw in the
Valor's
future.
there.
Okay. So Alessander will post up over here, kind of close to the lunar fracture, but not quite touching it.
Yeah, as you begin walking towards this way, you do see there is this large disc in the ground, sort of embedded in, or I shouldn't say it's embedded in there. It's more over, like, As is. You know, like a dais, like like that sort of steepled steps that you put a throne on. It's really not that tall.
Mhm.
It's built into that, or rather, the dais is built specifically around this disc.
Uh,
So the disc is not a facet of the room; it's just in a stand, which is holding it currently.
does Celine know if anything interesting would happen if I ate it? No, if she like stood in it.
She has no clue. Like she telepathically communicates to you. I do not know.
Actually, Crash, out of curiosity, is Nishka still feeling that sort of sicky feeling in this room, or is it?
No, that as you enter
Yeah,
into the back
just-
into real space, oh man, it's so much better out here.
Okay,
Back
cool,
to
cool.
reality.
I just wondered if like the disc has something to do with it. That's fine.
You unholy.
I
Okay.
am unholy. Is this you just
Rory,
realizing?
Rory knew that.
How far
We've known
across
that for
is
a
this?
while.
Literally,
What would
could
happen
literally
if
have
Um,
Mariana just stand
around
here and
this
be able to
area?
get there.
If you stand in this area, this is not like a flat representation
Yeah, it's like an
Yeah.
of the
angle
lunar
going down.
fracture. The lunar fracture breaks in from the ceiling on a diagonal. So if you imagine here, I'll do like a really shitty sketch. So if you imagine the room looks like this, there is a break in the room that goes all the way from the ground that fissures all the way up, and the lunar fracture sort of shoots down like that. Yeah, so on a top-down representation of it, it looks like this. But you guys wouldn't really ever be under or like in it. You guys would constantly be under it.
So sort of like a
I
moonbeam.
brought up this wall and do a
Moonbeam.
sick flip.
It's a lot of broken moonbeams
Yeah.
on the diagonal.
Are they? I'm assuming they're just
Spurs of
frozen in
moonlight
time.
just free floating in the air. I got it.
Like
was that?
all those discs you saw around the Sigillian Prime. Imagine all like that.
Oh,
Except there's a lot more and they're a lot bigger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, they are held in time and space.
so if Celine wanted to go here, she wouldn't be in the beam at all.
No.
Gotcha.
Anywhere we're gonna put her out in. There. Okay. I think here Blair can reach either of those guys, and then Oriana can fucking reach anywhere. I think that's fine.
Let's see here. So I think in
Am I
there.
muted? No, I'm not. Fuck.
Perfect. No, you're not.
But we're pretty scattered now.
Could be more
Decent.
scattered.
We could be more scattered, yeah, but
I
birds have
just
been
don't know
clubbed
where
together.
to go. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, here's good.
Yeah.
It's a
I'm
point
gonna
of
stop
like,
here and go from there.
yeah, we want to scatter so we're not hit with like a massive AOE instantly, but also we want to stay kind of close together so we can like charge at the enemies.
Mhm.
Manon
How fast is Manon?
is mostly melee based, right?
Entirely melee based.
Entirely melee based. You see, Alexander points over towards Manon, gives a quick whistle, and like snaps his fingers for you to go kind of over here more, because
Oh.
that's where the guys are gonna show up. And if you're mostly melee based, then
Remember, side no clue where anyone was, so that is helpful.
Devourer up here, Devourer there-ish, Prime
Yeah,
right
like
here,
here
and then
and
big
you
there.
guy
might be
coming
starting
down.
up right next to one if you want to like move.
Yeah,
back
he might be
over
sitting
there.
on you in a minute, but like that's fine.
I mean, he has to crawl out of the. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Technically, I'll be on top of him.
Who has a passive perception above 16?
Sight based?
Yo.
Or equal to 16 or above.
Oh,
Sight based.
Pretty sure almost
Well, that's the
everyone.
one.
Yep.
Let's see.
I think
Yeah,
mine's like
we're the
20. I'm just
perceptive
checking.
squad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 20.
Oh, Laura.
Laura is one off.
Yeah, yeah.
What a shame. I'll give it to you. Yeah, might as well just keep everyone in the loop. You guys, as you guys are beginning to set up, trying to reimagine how the room was laid out, which, by the way, you're already changing the future by being in different locations than where what the vision showed you. You guys do note that Kasai is crouched over the
Ew.
disc, and she's trying to examine it. And whatever she's like, trying to examine from it is, I want to say stealing her focus, but it is locking in her focus immensely.
I think Alexander's right next to her, so if he clocks this, he'll say, "What are you doing?"
She points at the disc, and it is like shattered, as indicated on the map there. It has a lot of fissures and cracks and breaks through it, almost like it's a piece of, I don't know, ceramic. but it's still intact, technically, aside from the missing chunks. And it has a lot of symbols on it. And for the life of you, you have no clue what these symbols are, if they're arcane sigildry, if they're a language. Not because like there's some sort of eldritch like filter over it, more so that you just don't recognize it.
Okay. I don't suppose anyone here is like a. Yeah, we didn't take any like Arcana-based people.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you started sending all of them to the Heartland. Sorry.
Mhm.
Actually, oh wait, you might. There's one instance where you actually might reckon. Roll me your history.
Okay.
There's one instance that you might have seen these sort of symbols before.
Alright, just gotta roll good. Nope, 17.
It is good enough.
Hey.
You saw these symbols back in the Dreaming City.
He'll
she?
kind of point to them with that clear recognition on his face. And he'll say this loud enough for pretty much everyone to hear. I remember those from the Dreaming City.
Yes. From the Dreaming City and whatever it was before. Nevros script.
I see. Can you decipher it at all, or is it too
She shakes
far
her head.
gone?
I do not know how to read the script. I've seen it before. Before the Dreaming City.
Where did you see it?
In my past. Now is not the time to analyze it, but once this is over, I'd like to record it.
What if it's lost after everything is over?
That's why I'm trying to memorize it right now. Sai rolls her history if she is proficient in it, but she's not, so she only has intelligence.
I can give her advantage, as I try to remember it too.
Smart.
How about she gives you advantage because you probably have the higher intelligence?
Oh, yeah, true.
Look at this smart boy.
21.
Very good.
Ayo.
You have seen enough, even if you're not proficient or fluent in them, you've seen a number of other languages, and it does grab from other elements like giant runes to a certain degree, halfling to a certain degree, gnomish to a certain degree. Like there's a lot of if not like the syntax or the calligraphy or whatever, like it does grab at a lot of other languages out there.
It doesn't. It's its own script, right? It's like sort of.
It is its own script.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it basically
I think
Latin?
Alessander does what I do in these kinds of situations, where he kind of like likens each symbol to like a sort of shape, like a toilet bowl with 2 dots in it.
Hey, if it works, man, if it works.
Oh, that's a funny monkey doing a dance.
Yeah, that's what helps you memorize this, yeah.
Do we have paper and a piece of charcoal?
You guys do, but you guys don't have time.
We've only got like a couple of minutes, right?
Well,
Yeah.
well, less than 2 minutes now.
Oh, okay, well.
Well, probably more like 3 seconds. Let me just change the music.
Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3.
What the fuck?
Oh no.
So then going into this fight, Alessander's just chanting in his head, two-handed monkey.
If we're
Snake with buck tooth.
Two-handed. Two-handed. Okay.
As opposed to
if this is
how we
gonna be Children of the Omnissiah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have a
hold on.
small
I'm
heart
just gonna
attack.
leave.
No, don't worry. Sakani's not that bad. Maybe if you guys fight him at a later point, maybe he will
Next to
be. I don't
doubt.
know. As you are finishing up this memorization, that purple energy does begin to coalesce. Oh, bio. That purple energy does begin to coalesce and combine into that unfortunately, familiar form that is etched in your mind of the Dark Wizard Sakani.
This purple bitch.
Who, this asshole?
And you guys hear a slamming on the door. I guess you probably only hear it like one time, technically. Because the Sigillian Prime is not a little boy. He breaks down the door and enters into the room. He is still covered in his lunar shard effect. So he does still have the benefit of being beyond time and space. Sakani, 60 feet up, floating in the air on sort of nothing. It's almost as if he's like Chris Angel levitating. He scans across the room. I do not know how you all got in here, but I assure you, you will not be getting out. This ends here. And he begins conjuring, holding his hand left and then right, which are enraptured in voidic energy, this sort of ultra black, umbra black, vanta black, that's the word. And you guys could see behind you similar inky pools in the ground begin opening up. And then also, I can't select the fucking circle. This one.
Hey,
And then pulling themselves out from these pits of utter darkness are these bat goblinoid-esque monstrosities. But you guys already know that they're called Devourers.
Orion's not arcanely based, but does his magic look similar to when we were in the Nightmare Imperium, seeing the kind of magic from the Sophus brothers?
No, because your head doesn't hurt looking at him.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Easy confirmation on that one.
Yep.
Also,
Yeah,
just
if I were to describe it like this, right? This is very weird. Imagine, if you will, and I know this might be a bit weird, an X and Y chart, like a graph. You have your up and down, your left and right. Now give it a Z Z axis, so forward and backwards. Okay, so you basically have this cube. The energies of light, dark, good, evil are on the X and Y coordinates. The Nightmare Imperium is on the Z as well. So whereas the Void is all the way on the, let's say the right side or something, on the evil and dark scale, the bottom right, the Nightmare Imperium is also in the same quadrant, but on the Z axis, it's way deeper down. It is similar in the sense of there is a darkness about, but whereas the Void is a nothingness, the Nightmare Imperium is a dismal energy. It is an energy of existentialism, which is in some ways worse than being nothing. It's being negative, it's being worthless, so on and so forth. So there's your little TED talk on the Nightmare. Led by Tolos.
Don't bring her in
Thank
here.
you,
Don't bring
I'll be
her in.
here all week. So, let's kick things off, shall we? Let's see, who did Keenan give advantage to for initiative? That's a good question. Boom. Who did Keenan give his visual
Alexander.
blessing? Alright, there you go then.
does haste not already give it? Oh, I guess it wouldn't. Yeah, because it would already be. You already have it in combat.
As Sakani begins summoning these Devourers, the Sigillian Prime springs into action. Again, like that sort of fucking time warping eldritch being he currently is. But as he does so, the Lunar Fracture sends out a ripple of energy that sort of bombards and cascades throughout the room. And as it does so, it sort of slams him or pushes him back. He digs his heels into the ground, and you guys can hear this metallic scraping against not so polished tile work noise. And as it does so, you guys can see that those little plates he has dissipate. and begin flying back into the lunar fracture itself. And then, similarly, as it sort of kicked out that energy, some of you are left with not the plates, but that sort of lunar glow about you. Those of you that have haste, have haste. Those of you that picked to take a long rest, which I don't know if there's any of you, I guess mostly your NPCs at this point, wounds begin healing. I will roll something for Blair right now, actually. Alright, moving on. She did not fix her broken arm.
Aw.
I
Dude,
am going to use my.
You're aware?
Should I guess?
Yes.
I'm using my mega inspiration.
Oh, we got it straight from the source.
Oh shit.
I don't even need to play the soundbite.
Oh no, play it.
Fuck.
Oh,
Maybe I shouldn't.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's an oof. Sorry, Blair.
Oh
but-
shit! I just
Super
wasted
sorry.
my beep 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 mega inspiration.
Inspiration.